The Tevise, or Tevise T-801, is a watch that gets a lot of reviews on these YouTube watch review channels, and generally they compare it with other budget watches, and usually it comes last in their scoring. This is a Submariner Homage, and it's obviously, as you can see, an automatic, but for greater detail, let's have a look at this thing. Good day to you all, and welcome back to another BBW review. Today we have the Tevise, or the Tevise T-801, which is an homage to the Submariner from Rolex. Very popular and common watch to homage. You would have probably seen many of these on review on YouTube. This is my review. Now, most reviewers have given it a pretty bad score, but as I review this, what I want you to keep in the back of your mind is this watch cost $20. So let's have a look at this thing. Now, going through the basic specs, it kind of follows the specifications of the original Rolex in that it has a 42mm diameter across the dial there. The more important measurement is the lug to lug, because that's the one that goes across your wrist. This has my nice sweet spot, which is 50mm, and as you see, it does kind of curve down nicely to hug the wrist. And you'll notice that quite shiny case there. It's an alloy, chrome-plated alloy. You wouldn't expect much more for $20. Now, the depth of the watch, from the exhibition case on the base to the flat mineral crystal, is 13mm, although that unnecessary cyclops does push it up maybe another half or 1mm. Across the strap, you have a 20mm, pretty standard lug width for your strap. And what else is there? There's a 6mm crown in between these two crown guards. So onto the bezel. The bezel, I think, was one thing that upset most reviewers because of the back play. So it's positioned at the moment, but when we turn it to the right, you can see it does have about a minute or a minute and a half back play, and this is supposed to be a unidirectional, so only one direction, which is anti-clockwise. The bezel itself, it's quite resistant, so you're not going to knock it by accident really in your pocket. As you put your hand in your pocket, it's quite resistant. But being quite resistant, this coin edge rim here does kind of cut into your fingers as you turn it, but not too much. It is quite satisfying. It's a nice clicky bezel, and despite that 1 to 1.5 minute back play, I don't think it's going to move out of position as you go throughout the settings in the day. If you put your hand in your pocket, it's not going to move in any direction. It goes back 1.5 minutes, but I don't think you're going to push it forward. It is quite resistant. The bezel itself is not ceramic. It is an aluminium bezel, but the printing is really nice. It's if you look quite closely, there's no smudges. It's quite clear, so no problems with the accuracy of the printing on the bezel. Again, the only gripes would be the back play, 1 to 1.5 minute back play, and the fact that the bezel here is not ceramic. But for $20, keep that in mind. So onto the crystal itself. It's a flat mineral crystal, which is kind of okay. And below that you have the face, the main details. The phase itself, the dial, is not sunburst, and I don't think the original Rolex is either. So that follows that. Around the outside you have your minute track printed Within that, you have the applied indices, which are nice. They are metal bordered circles, which are applied and go all around, apart from the battens at the 6 and the 9, and the, let's move the hand out of the way there, the date, which is just about to turn soon, at the 3. And you have a protruding cyclops. Now, I don't like dates much, and I say this on every watch that I review, but this one more so because of the cyclops. I don't like things that protrude from the face that much. The magnification is about 1.5, so it is easy to read. The cyclops does work, not too well. I think a magnification of 2 would have been better, but it's adequate. That's if you like date windows. I do not. Onto the hands. The hands themselves do copy the Rolex in that they are the Mercedes hands with lume. Now, you're not going to get any lume here. This is just white paint, and it doesn't work at all. Not much, anyway. The second hand is the stick hand, lollipop stick, with the dot about 3/4 of the way down the stick. And as you can see from the movement, it is a nice smooth movement powered by a 21,600 bph ticker under the case, which we'll look at in a minute. Moving these hands out of the way again to have a look at the details with the wording. So you have the Tevise or Tevise and the logo below the 12 with automatic, and above the 6 o'clock. Oh, this is another thing that really annoys people who have reviewed this watch, is the meaning of some of these words. Now, you have 100 foot and 30 meters, which is fine. That's the water resistance, or 3 ATM. But it's this one here, if you can see that. Superlative chronometer. What does that mean? Well, it means nothing superlative is on this watch for $20 and officially certified. It certainly is not, especially again at $20. But I think it's just there to copy the look or the aesthetics of the original Rolex, and it does work. It doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't affect the function of the watch, so I don't get too annoyed about that. Onto the rest of the watch. Again, that nice case. It does follow the design pattern of the original Rolex, and that's it's quite a nicely designed case, and it does have some bling. Onto the back. I'm not sure if you can see this clearly. So you have again a mineral glass cover for the exhibition case. You have a bi-directional rotor. The rotor itself is not as plain as other Tevise watches, although I believe this is just a sticker over the rotor with Tevise on it. It's about 17 fake jewels beneath that, and there you can see the flywheel. I think it's called a flywheel. 21,600 bph, which I think is much, much better than a 2800, because a 2800 is going to wear down, I believe, a lot sooner than something that beats slower. And that sweep of that second hand looks fine. It doesn't stick at all. So yeah, 2800 would look negligibly better, a bit smoother, but as I said, the faster your mechanics work within the watch, the more prone they are to wearing out a lot sooner. I can't see the details around that case, although it does say it's an automatic Tevise, and it's water resistant to 30 meters, although you can't see the details there. They're almost worn off. I do wear this watch a lot, and again, it does have a special place among my collection, this watch, because it's the first automatic watch I ever bought, and it still works fine for $20. So without any further ado, let's have a look at this thing on the wrist. And there she blows on the wrist. That strap, I haven't really talked about that strap. I've mentioned this strap before in other reviews. It's a standard stainless steel push pin with a butterfly release. It is a nice strap. I like these straps a lot. They're single links, push pins, and this is the pins have been pushed out of this all the way until there's no more pins to release, because I have a 6.5-inch wrist, but a nice strap. Doesn't match the original Rolex, which I think is it's not an Oyster. It is an Oyster. It's not a Jubilee. Look at the profile again. So 50 millimeters on my 6.5-inch wrist. Really, there are tiny gaps which are negligible under the left and the right lugs. I think it looks fine. A bit bulky, but again, it does follow the measurements of the original Rolex, so I don't think they could have made it much slimmer, and I wouldn't have wanted it much slimmer. It's just fine as it is. Now, in this price range of $20, there are not many watches it can compare to. There's not a great market at the $20 Submariner Homage. The next ones up would be something like a Cardisan, I think, or a Pagani, which are going to be about 4 or 5 times more expensive. And of course, with that increase in price, you're going to get better materials, better fit, a sapphire crystal, and possibly a ceramic coating on that bezel there. Not things I would be bothered about, and certainly not things I would pay 70-80% more for. But I will be doing a comparison with this one and the FN Jean, which is also a $20 Submariner Homage, and I'll be doing that comparison quite soon. But that's it for now. And again, my first automatic watch, which does hold a special place in my collection, and it still works fine. No problems, no qualms at all. And I'll be wearing this until it does break down. Okay, there we go. So, if you are thinking of buying this watch, I would suggest that you do take into account those compromises regarding the bezel action and the materials that really do not compare to something higher range and a higher price of a Pagani design. But again, you'd have to consider that this is about a fifth or 20% of the cost of a Pagani design. So that's going to be something important to factor in when you're choosing what Sabi Homage to buy. And I would suggest that, from my own preference, that $20 for this watch is kind of a bargain. But of course, the choice is yours. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you again with another watch on the green chair. Until then, take it easy.